Hey everybody, Challenger 2 here, and welcome back to Star Citizen. Today we're on New Babbage, headed to the Tobin Expo Center for RSI Day for the 2951 Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, Day 2. Stay tuned. Okay, here we are at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2951, and today is RSI Day. We're at Zenith Hall. Let's go through and take a look at the ships that RSI has on offer. Make sure we play these little...
Some historians credit Robert Space Industries with the invention of modern spaceflight. For founder Chris Roberts, the prospect of making space travel more accessible was a lifelong dream, and when his company unveiled their prototype, Quantum Core Engine, in 2075, suddenly, space travel didn't seem that fantastical anymore.
So Robert Space Industries, they make very high-tech ships. Lots of struts, though. Not a fan of the struts, but I am a fan overall of the aesthetic that they've come up with. I've already read that. Let's go ahead and look. So right here we have constellations. Looks like we have 4 of them. Looks like they have their own little smallest to biggest. Here we go. Let's play this.
It's pretty amazing to think that RSI makes one of the smallest ships on the market and one of the biggest. It would take about 50 Auroras laid end to end to equal the length of one mighty Bengal carrier.
Cool. So it looks like we have a constellation Aquila here. That would be a Phoenix. We've got an Andromeda, and that's probably a Taurus. So the Aquila is the exploration variant. You can tell because it has the rounded bridge here. We'll quickly go through and look at it, since I haven't covered this on any of my videos yet. Maybe it'll let us up here. We'll see. We got an airlock here that we're going to go through. Alright. Features storage lockers for the crew. Lighting is a bit weird. Let's see if my torch will help. Doesn't seem to. I doubt we can turn on vehicle power. Alright, you have a latrine here. And then you have the forward section, which is the bridge. For the Aquila, this top turret will be a scanning station. The bottom one will be a gun turret. You have the pilot and 2 co-pilots, and lots of struts. But even with the struts, you still get decent view, especially horizontally. Vertically is not too awful bad. There's a rather large cross beam and a main strut there. And down you actually have a little bit too, so it's a little easier to land. Alright, let's go back to the B section. Alright, so there will be a table that comes up out of the floor here for the break room area. And you do have weapon racks here. Let's see if we can turn on the power. It probably won't let us, but I want to get these lights on if we can. Can we? Inner pilot seat? Maybe. Alright, let's try it.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries.
Cargo bay, screens. And your comms display, open exterior. Proximity flight assist. Coupled. Oh, so all these buttons now work. That's kind of new. That didn't used to be a thing. Cargo bay, screens. Let's try just hitting the quick key for it. Maybe. Maybe not. Let's see if I can try to get out. There we go. Now, is this any better? No, it is not. Okay, that's fine. We'll just take a quick cursory glance. Excuse me. So you've got 4 bunks that are also escape pods. And then, man, this is dark. Let me open this up. Maybe we can get some light in here. Hopefully that'll come through. I know YouTube makes everything dark. But anyway, this is your cargo bay. It houses one land vehicle, like a Ursa rover. You You can see your missiles here. Let me turn off my light. And then in the very back, you're going to have a snub, or rather parasite fighter bay. Man, it's real difficult to see. Come on, open up. There you go. You can get into your Merlin right there, and it detaches. Let's look from outside. It's too dark in here. We can kind of see a little better outside anyway. Can we, yeah, go down the ladder maybe? Oh, don't hurt yourself. Hopefully we won't die. Anyway, there's the bay, and then if you look around the back here, you can see the parasite fighter, this Merlin snub fighter that's back there. Now, a few things about the Connies that are really cool is that you have decent forward firepower for the pilot. You have these gimbaled size 4s at the bottom here, and then on top you have size 5s. So you can do all gimbaled size 4s, or you can do 2 gimbaled size 4s on the bottom and 2 fixed size 5s up top. Also, the Constellation series got a shield boost, so now they have large shields, which make them much more viable than they used to be. Before they had, I believe it was 2 medium shields, which was the same as a freelancer and didn't really make sense. So now that they've got that nice buff in shields, you got decent forward firepower, you've got a lot of variety in gameplay that you can do with, you can run cargo, or you can, you know, do exploration missions, do fighting missions, you and a group of buddies. So it's pretty good ship, the whole series. This one looks to be the Andromeda, which is the base model. So the Andromeda has the standard Constellation cockpit. You don't have the enhanced panoramic view like this one does. And then the top turret is just another gun turret. You lose the scanner station. Also, the Andromeda does not come with the Ursa rover like the Aquila does. You still get the snub fighter, however, which we can see back here in the back. There you go. Now this next one we're going to go to, this one is called the Taurus. The Taurus has an extended midsection here, extended frame. You lose the turret. I believe it's the bottom turret that you lose. Still keep the top turret. This is kind of glitched into the ground, but you can kind of see how this cargo bay is extended longer. So you have, I believe, twice the cargo of a standard Constellation, or close enough. And then you lose the snub bay. There's actually shielded storage where the snub fighter would attach to. So same firepower, everything else. I think you lose a little bit of missiles. You don't have the extending missile arms on the Taurus, but you do get more cargo. It's cheaper overall, and you lose the snub fighter, and you don't get a rover as well. Now this one's unique. We're going to try to go in here real quick if we can. This is the Constellation Phoenix. This is the VIP touring version. You have a completely redesigned, wider midsection here, and you can see the cargo bay itself is wider, but it's not as tall. There's actually a roof or a ceiling right here. Let's hope it's not too dark inside. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. This is my favorite of the Constellation series. The problem is, it's hard to buy this one. It's hull limited. It's very costly, especially in-game. And since it's hull limited, you cannot CCU to this ship. If you could, I would own one already, but you can't. So this section and the forward section are the same as the standard Constellation series. And the beds are a little higher end. You can tell they've got kind of like a white leather to them. But then when you hit this part, this is totally different. So this is the Phoenix. You have passenger rooms now, complete with fish tanks. There's one on this side as well. Look at that. Much nicer, right? And then I love this like business class, first class, like aircraft seating that you have here with this awesome window. Look at this. All right, same for this side. You even get a little table. Cool little Constellation Phoenix. And then you have the bar, which looks nice and looks functional and usable, complete with skylight that goes all the way down. Take a quick look at the bar back here. Very cool looking. And then this table is actually modular. You can actually have this meeting table, are a piano. And I imagine in the future they'll probably have other things as well, such as pool tables and maybe like a dance floor or something. As you come back, there's another fish tank that you can see through to the hot tub area. How do we open this? Is it here? Don't think it's working right now, but there's going to be a hot tub under here. You have components here. There you go, the components work. Now that's still a medium shield, but the shields have been upgraded on this as well to a large. This is how you get to the cargo area, and this is the captain's suite, or owner's suite, or maybe just first class suite. Maybe if you're doing transporting a VIP, they can stay here. You see, they can see out this way, they can see out here, but it's much harder to see inside. All right, and then we go back to where the snub bay was, and you still have a snub fighter. If we can see, it's very dark back here. May not open. There you go. But this is the Archimedes and not the what was the other one called? Forget the name of the other one. P-72, and this one's the Archimedes, which has an energy gun instead of a Gatling gun on it. The Merlin was the one in the other Constellation series. So overall, very cool. I'm glad they widened the ship out so it doesn't feel like a tube anymore. This actually feels like a luxury place to be. High-end business class is the best way I could say for this. It's not quite on the level of like Origin and like the 890 Jump, but it's still very nice. All right, let's get out of here. It's very dark. All right. Okay, so that's the Constellation series. Let's go downstairs, see what they have for future vehicles. I have an idea. As well as ground vehicles. There's probably an Ursa rover down here, which I absolutely adore the Ursa rover. There it is. I think it has a great use of space, much like the Pisces does for the Carrack, the little snub ship for the Carrack. So check it out. Ursa rover. I don't want to wrench you. I want to open this door. One, I love how this door opens. Look at that. Right? And two, you go right in here. You've got a locker. You've got modules. You've got weapon storage. And you have 4 jump seats that can fold up and have room for cargo. You also have a rear entry ramp. And let's go into the, I guess, cockpit for lack of a better term. All right, you've got the driver and you've got a co-pilot seat here with very good view, actually. And all in a very small package, so it fits in a variety of ships. This comes standard with the Carrack. It comes standard with the Aquila. So yeah, I love the Ursa. Also, when you park it, these wheels kind of tuck in a little bit, give you a little bit better way of fitting it into cargo bays. All right, so let's go check this side, make sure there's not anything different. I think it'll just be an Ursa or just a seating area. Okay, future concepts, let's go check those out real quick. Hoping for a Polaris. Okay, so here's the Scorpius. Scorpius, I'll give you one hint where it takes its inspiration from. You know, Red 1, Rogue Leader. Very cool heavy fighter that folds up into a very small package, which allows you to fit it in a lot of different ships. You have size 3s on the weapon tips, so 4 of those. Then you also have a turret. I don't know if you can see it. Let's try to zoom in. This turret here also has 4 size 3s. And the cool thing about this turret, and this is where it gets its name Scorpius from, this turret is a remote turret and goes on rails all the way to the back side of the ship. Here you can kind of see this is a ship facing the other way. This turret is on tracks and will come all the way back here and tuck underneath and face the opposite direction. So hence the name Scorpius is like a scorpion tail. 8 size 3s in a very small package with a very cool aggressive design. So that's the Scorpius. I really like that ship. I don't own one personally, but I also don't own fighters in general because I'd rather just earn those in games and then pay real money for it. So here we go, the Perseus. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest, if not the coolest looking ships in the game. And I think the reason I think that is because of the very Zumwalt looking bow on it. It looks very much like one of the futuristic naval ships that you see in modern navies these days. And it also has a bridge that is located midship dorsal, and it's kind of elevated as a tower. Now, I really love these in bigger ships because you can look out and see the deck of your ship. You can see these massive size 7 guns, and that's the other thing that the Perseus has. 4 size 7s in these massive, almost battleship-looking turrets. But from up here, you have more of like a control tower rather than a cockpit-style bridge, which allows you to have a much better situational awareness of your own vehicle. And I like that, especially for a spacefaring vehicle. I think that's really cool. This is another one that I do not own, but I do intend to earn in-game. I think it's very cool looking, very aggressive. This turret looks like it has good fields of fire to the rear and to the bottom. I almost feel like you may want to shoot broadside with this, as you can get both turrets on the same target. I feel on the front, you may not be able to get the depression or the elevation that you need to converge on the same target. So I think broadside would actually make the most sense with this and allow you to dodge the most fire while shooting. Could be wrong on that, but yeah, Perseus. I really love that ship. Now I'm hoping there's a Polaris around the corner, and there is. Now, I do own a Polaris. Few reasons. One, it is the smallest military capital class ship. So that would make it the cheapest and easiest to crew of the military capital ships. 2, it's shaped like a Star Destroyer. How can you not like that? And 3, its main function, I guess the best analog would be like a nuclear sub. It's meant to go out. It has the capacity to survive on its own, such as medical bays, a brig, crew quarters, things of that nature. And it also has a hangar for a small fighter. But what makes it the most like a nuclear sub, in my opinion, is it has the 4 size 10. That's right, size 10 torpedo launcher tubes. It has capital, as of right now, and I'm sure all this will change, but it has a capital radar. So the way I picture this ship working is going out and being almost like a recon / ambush target of opportunity ship for naval fleets, and can also operate very well within a fleet itself. But I feel like it can go out on its own, and I really like that. So I own the Polaris. I feel like there's a lot of value. It can do many different things based on the equipment that it has on board and the fact that it can fit that small fighter. You can put a terrapin in there and do recon. You can put a prospector in there and do some mining. I mean, just the sky's the limit on what you can do with this ship. So excited about this one. If you're interested in picking up a Polaris, now's your time to do so. It is no longer hull limited. You can CCU to it. If you have something like a Hammerhead, I would definitely consider upping it to a Polaris. All right, let's get out of here. And let's continue on. So we need to go back up, and we'll see if there is a wing coming off. I could see there being some Auroras. And what else do they have? The Mantis for Robert Space Industries. And as they alluded to on the little panel that we talked on earlier, they have the Bengal carrier as well, which is a huge ship, much more massive than anything we see in here. That's a military carrier that carries its fighters even up to Retaliator size internally. So they make massive military ships, futuristic design, high tech, pretty high quality as far as their products as well. All right, so let's go into 2 here. I think we're going to see some Auroras and a Mantis. Try not to pass out from running so much. Maybe I can speed up my walk. So yeah, here we go. Here are the Auroras. These are the starter ships, the everyman, like almost like a pickup truck. They can do a little bit of everything. This one is the LN? Yeah, this is the LN, or the Legionnaire. This is the combat-focused Aurora. Auroras are very cool little ships. So we'll hop in this one real quick if it'll let us. So we're going to open the door. And open ladder. I think we can use that as kind of like a ramp. Oh, no. We have to do the animation. All right. Let's enter ship. So even though it's a tiny, tiny little ship, all right, you actually have a bed back here. Surprisingly enough, you wouldn't expect that. Now, it doesn't look to be super duper comfortable, claustrophobic at best, but there's a bed. And then the other thing, we have struts for days, but we'll enter the pilot seat here. Even with all the struts, you actually have pretty good fields of view. You can see below you here. Side view is good. Overhead view is good. If you can kind of just erase the struts from your mind, you actually have pretty good field of vision. Let's go ahead and exit this. Come on. Please don't be stuck in the Aurora. All right, we're not. And if you're, you know, trying to push the limits, you could fit 1 or 2 people back here and transport them with an Aurora. We're going to exit. There we go. So that one's the fighty version, the Legionnaire. This one is the MR. I forget what the MR stood for. Maybe it'll tell if we look at our little thing here. All right, perhaps you're looking for something that offers carrying capacity, but has combat capabilities too. The Mark, Aurora Mark, comes with a pair of bearing quality lasers and high quality gun cooler system. Mark. Okay, next we have, what is this one? LX. This is a luxury one. You can see up there you got like a leather seat. I mean, as far as luxury can go for an Aurora. Let's see what they say for it. Be proud of your roots with a brand new Aurora Deluxe. Built for a discerning pilot who never forgets where he or she came from, the LX features patent leather interior to guarantee comfort for these long stretches in a deep black. All right. Let's go hit the other Auroras, then we'll come look at the Mantis. And I believe that's it. I can't think of any other RSI ships that they have. All right, so this one is the ES. I believe this is the entry one. The Aurora is the modern-day descendant of the Roberts Space Industries X-7 spacecraft, which tested the very first jump engine, utilitarian to a T. So yeah, this is the starter Aurora, the ES. Come over here, and this one's going to be the CL, and this one is the cargo version. It's not present at the moment, but down here on this bottom rack, see right through here, there's going to be a cargo container that fits there and allows you to carry a bit of cargo. So they have an Aurora for everybody. Personally, if I had to have an Aurora, if I had to fly one around, I would choose the LN. I feel that's probably the best value out of all the Auroras, but that's totally up to you. CL's not bad either, carrying cargo. I think I would skip the MR and the LX. I would go either LN or CL. All right, so here's the Mantis. The Mantis is where RSI finally got its act together and said, you know what? We don't need all these struts. Let's give the people what they want and give them vision. So the Mantis is an interdiction ship in the purest of senses. It has a quantum, I believe it's called quantum entanglement device that fits right here and spins around like one of those ring things that you get on at the fair and spin your body around, gyroscope looking things. This quantum entanglement device can pull people out of quantum, right? And then if you have a quantum interdiction device with you, such as a Cutlass Blue, you can hold people and keep them from entering quantum. So bounty hunting, law enforcement, whatever you would need to pull people out of quantum for, piracy, this is going to be what you're going to need, the Mantis here. Now, the cool thing about the Mantis, let's go ahead and hop up in here if it'll let us. And we may not be able to see. No, cancel. I just want to activate this. Okay. I don't know why it keeps going to my Mobi-Glass. I just want to... Oh, because of rent. I want to go up. Here we go. Got to hit the button, not the ship. But anyway, cool thing about the Mantis is it actually has an interior that is much more spacious than you would expect. So you have a bunk here. You've got a restroom. There you go. No shower, just a pooper. And then it looks like some form of kitchen utensils and then component access. And then let's take a look at the view from the pilot seat. And then look at this view compared to the Aurora and the Constellation series. Now you are blocked to the side
System check.
and a little bit to the top, but forward, pretty unobstructed other than this one little bar going around right here. So not too bad. Let's hop back out. I'm gonna do one more quick run through, make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh, there's a button here. Should probably press the button. The elevator allows them to have more room for you to live up there. All right, so let's make sure we didn't miss anything. I think we've got it all. But yeah, that's Roberts Space Industries. As we're doing our last cursory glance, I'm going to go ahead and mention, how did I get in here? Was it over? It was over there. CCUs you want to look out for if you're interested in a Phoenix. You won't be able to get a CCU for it, but they should have a limited stock of Phoenixes if you wish to purchase one of those. Ships that aren't always available would be the Perseus, the Polaris, ships like that. I don't think there's anything else. I would recommend the Polaris wholeheartedly. Scorpius, if you're interested in a heavy fighter that can fold up and maybe fit inside that Polaris. Perseus, it's up to you. I personally wouldn't go with a Perseus for the simple fact that I feel it's very niche. It's anti-cap with the big guns that it has, which seems fun. But I think for that amount of money, if I'm mistaken, it's $675. I think for that amount of money, I would just go ahead and pay a little bit more and get a Polaris or like a Nautilus or something that is a bit more multi-function and not as niche. But if you are interested in just having 4 size 7 guns and fighting capitals with a heavily armored ship, then by all means get you a Perseus too. The Constellation series, I believe the Aquila is always available. The Taurus may or may not be. I can't remember off the top of my head if it is. The Andromeda is always available. But yeah, the Phoenix is the special one that's going to be difficult to get. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll go ahead and see you tomorrow. I forget which manufacturers tomorrow. Maybe Aegis? We'll have to see. But we'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of the Tobin Expo Center Intergalactic Aerospace Expo here on New Babbage. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.